Welcome to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. We're two friends taking an explorative journey into all things astrology and a little woo. I'm Christine. I'm a creative, intuitive counselor and coach, and astrology enthusiast. We Pisces like to wear all the hats. You can find me on IG at The Dreamy Piscean.
And I'm Shelby. I am a licensed social worker, a big feelings person, and a light skeptic. Here to learn all the astrological things. You can find me on Twitter at Shelby Tweeting, and being a Cancer rising on Instagram at Shelby Cooking Things. Welcome to our show. Hey y'all. Welcome back to the I'm Such a Pisces podcast. I'm Shelby.
And I'm Christine.
Christine, how's your week going? I think I already know, but how's the week going?
You know, it was a long exhale. That's what I just gave. It was a long...
She's been waiting to exhale.
Waiting to exhale. That is what I'm waiting for. I said to someone today, I was like, I just need some relief. You know, it's the pressure valve. You just need to let a little out. Like, just a little out like this, content's under pressure. But, we gonna get there. Mm-hmm.
It was, so we're recording, it's Friday. Yesterday was the full moon in Leo, and I was listening to Jessica Lanyadoo earlier this week saying, it's all about release. It's all about releasing.
look at that. See, just alignment on the energy. But yeah.
Yeah.
Release is needed.
Yeah.
So, maybe I should have gone through with my shenanigans yesterday.
No. That's not. Do you ever get those TikToks or like those reels where someone says like, "This is your sign to text him," or "This is," and then someone stitches it and they're like, "Not you.
Not you.
This one is not about you.
No,
Don't
not
do
you.
it.
Don't do
it's
that
not for you."
Nope.
There was one the other day that said like, I don't know what you're doing right now, but I bet that you could be a little meaner. You could be a little meaner. And then someone popped in and was like, "Not you. It's not for you." Well, I was like, oh. I was like really.
You got excited. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I was like,
I can.
I could be meaner. And then it was like, "Not you." I was like,
not
oh,
you.
Okay.
Not you, Shelby.
You. All right. I guess not.
Oh, I can just tap into my darkness today? Okay. I'm excited about
that. Speaking of which, I know it's a little soon, but that seems like such a good segue into what the co-star is giving this week.
Yes. Is it giving darkness?
Is it giving darkness? I don't know about you. We had all that snow and the rain and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like kind of warm out, but it's still been cloudy and like misty, foggy. Like it's been sort of a dark, it's been a dark time.
It has.
It's only the end of January. I'm so ready.
I'm like, where is the sun? Like anytime we have like more than like 2 or 3 days in a row that we don't really have sun, I just feel like, I'm like, oh, darkness has descended upon us.
Hello,
and like,
darkness smiled.
Like I just, I'm like, am I depressed? I'm like, like it just, it doesn't take very long for me for that, that seasonal depression. Like,
it kicks in so fast.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I will say, when I took a walk today, I, told Shelby earlier, I took a walk downtown. I had a purpose in my walk, but it was nice to like be out, have fresh air. I think a lot of people, when we came back after being out of work and whatnot last week from the snowstorm, people were, a lot of people had like cabin fever. People were saying they felt a little more depressed or like,
totally.
So I think it's been good to get back into a routine, and it has been unseasonably warm.
Okay. I'm hoping some of that energy comes up to here, because it's been in the 40s here, which is better than it was. All the snow melted finally, but like it's still cold. It's still dreary. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, well, the last few days we've had rain, but like today was the first day we didn't have rain. We had clouds. But
Okay.
this week it's been like mid to upper 50s, and then today it was 60.
Ooh.
So
Okay,
I
global
was like,
warming. Go
yeah,
off.
right, okay, like, I can never get too excited about having a warm day
I
in
know.
January, but
Oh, it's so nice, but also the existential crisis that follows is like,
mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know about this.
Like,
Yeah.
why are we getting this warm weather after
Yeah.
having, it was 25 last week or 9 degrees, like, like, and now it's
Something
60.
seems amiss. I don't like it.
It's very amiss. Very amiss. Okay, I was looking for co-star. I'm like, what am I doing? Looking for
Oh yes, okay.
co-star.
I'm
Mhm.
ready.
Go for it, girl.
Um all right. So, co-star today says, "This is not a surprise."
Okay.
And you know what? I think it always is like, oh man, I feel so sad. It's so gross outside, blah blah blah. And then it's like, this is not a surprise for you. Like it's like this every year.
It's
Like please
literally
recognize the
winter.
pattern.
Yes.
Like figure your shit out. Like it's coming. Why don't you do a better job of preparing for it? It's not a surprise.
We lament it every time. It's like I say this to myself, like, I know it's a part of the cycle, but I'm like, why do we have to do this part?
Why? Why? This is the worst part. Anyway, let's see. My dues today. Oh, okay. A lot of things. I still have opportunities for some of these things. Dues include sour candy.
Okay.
Love a sour candy.
Yes.
Sour candy. Sticky notes.
Okay.
Okay. And mornings.
Okay.
I actually did.
Well,
I did do a morning this morning.
did you
'Cause
do
I
a
got up
morning?
early. I went and got a wax at like 9:30.
Oh, ooh.
So start the
Yes.
day off right.
All right.
Pow, pow.
Rip
Feeling
it out.
energized, rip it on out. It's nothing like getting your skin ripped off at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
I did that, and then I got a little coffee, and I did my taxes today. Okay, IRS,
Shelby
you're
was
not gonna
responsible
get me.
today. I'm like, you were adulting.
In the morning, I was responsible, and then after that, I just kind of was just like in a pile, like I don't know. I was just like laid up on the couch most of the day after
Okay,
that. But I
laid
did
up.
get some things done.
Come on, laid up. Yeah.
I did my podcast homework.
Hey,
You know,
we love it. We love to see it.
Anyway, I guess I got to give you my don'ts, huh?
Yeah.
My don'ts today include hidden agendas.
Okay.
Cool. Hidden agendas, stolen glances, and hate following.
Oh. Mm.
Which is good. I think I've mostly stayed off of social media today. Like I've done a few things here and there, but I haven't found myself in a doom scroll or anything today. So we're not hate following.
Okay. Very good.
Stolen glances. That sounds so scandalous.
Stolen glances across the room. Oh,
But none of that for me. No scandal today.
No scandals. Okay.
Or-
No scandals. Yes.
Yeah.
No scandals.
And then no hidden agendas. So pretty straightforward this week.
Just be very open, very honest. Okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
we can work on that.
Transparency.
Yes. What do you have today, friend?
Okay, so today co-star says your mind is a rare book that deserves preservation.
What a beautiful compliment.
Okay.
I would agree.
You want to take my brain
Okay.
and put it in a jar?
Well, I think you still need it right now. Can you wait just a little longer?
Just a little while.
Just a little while, unless we're doing like
give me
some
a few
Futurama
years.
type shit. Did you ever watch
Hey.
Futurama?
Kind of.
Okay, they
Yes.
just have a bunch of people who are just floating heads in a jar.
Yes.
And like that's who like rules the country. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Now I am familiar. Yes.
Okay.
It was kind of, yeah, it was like,
Yes. I don't know. I weirdly like put that on when I'm like trying to do other stuff. It's one of those shows that just plays in the background, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's happening on this show, but I love it.
It's like it's been on in rooms that I've been in
You know, that's enough.
on several occasions. but I can't say that I was a watcher of the show. So it's like, yes and no.
Okay. Yes and no. We'll take that. We will take that.
It's been on in rooms. So my dues. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. I'm so scared.
It's not even funny. It's just, it triggered a memory that just made me laugh.
Okay.
So it says tea leaves. So the reason why this made me laugh, I don't know. Like I was at the gas station earlier and I was going to pay and I was pulling my little wallet out of my purse and something fell out of my purse and it was like this little packet fell on the ground and it it was a tea bag. But on first glance I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, oh god,
what
I
picked
it up.
Oh god, you never know what's about to fall out.
And you're like, oh god. You're like, it's a tea bag,
it's
a tea bag. Okay.
It's just
I'm like, there's nothing in my, okay. I'm like, girl.
You know, sometimes you just never know.
Sometimes you're not living right.
I carry, and I don't know why, I carry a fentanyl test strip in my wallet just in case I ever want to do some strange drugs. I want to do it responsibly.
Okay.
You know, it's like, yes, I will do this bathroom whatever drug.
But I'm going to test it first.
I need to make sure that it's not going to kill me first. You know, you can never be too safe. But every once in a while I go to do something and it just falls out and I'm like, fuck. Like, I look like I literally have not been in a situation for that to happen in so long. Really, I got them over the summer when I was having a wild time.
Hey.
And I'm not really on that anymore, but I do just like to just in case. Or if I need to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
you gotta be safe out here, you know.
Save a life, but relatable content.
Yes,
for sure.
Come on. Because I'm like, what is this? Oh, God. Like, it just, I don't know. You just have this, moment, and then, now I will say I might have smoked a little while before that, so maybe part of that was my own paranoia about the situation, and then I run into someone I was not expecting to. It was a whole thing, so I'm like, kind of like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, just let me go.
This man just asked for my Instagram. I'm like, oh no, now he follows me. Like, oh
maybe
no.
Maybe he's listening to the podcast right now.
He might be listening to the podcast now. Hey.
Hi.
Just
letting you know what you were in for at the gas station that day.
Things were just awry. So, tea leaves. Wishes. And tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed, not the regular weed. Just tumble
where there's plenty of tumbleweeds happening.
Oh no.
Over here. So
womp, womp.
I am doing the do's, I guess.
Doing the do's. Okay.
Far as
it's a dry spell.
It's dry. Well, let me not say that. It's not dry. But
it's not. Never.
There's no action happening.
Right.
Don't. Grasping at straws. Okay. Keyboard smash. Okay, be careful. And pocket lint.
Clean out those pockets.
That makes me think about that. Or is the Orbit commercial? She's like, you lint liquor.
Lint liquor. Who doesn't love the good old Orbit commercial? Everybody's favorite.
But yeah, that's, that's what it's given. That's what it's given.
Thank you, Co-Star.
Co-Star always. Oh, wait. I do have something from the other day, though. I have a real deep or a fake deep from Co-Star.
Ooh, okay.
I saved this. So here's our poll for the week.
Okay, real deep or fake deep? You tell us.
We finally got a poll. Okay. It says, facts and truth often have little to do with each other.
Facts and truth often have little to do with each other.
Real deep or fake deep?
Part of me, okay, so my instinct is like, that's fake deep. Because what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Facts and truth are not the same. So I think that means if you have an emotional truth, it might not line up with the facts.
Because, like, right, because some people would say facts and truth would be the same.
Right.
And so...
True.
So, you know, Is
All
that
right,
a subjective, you know, is subjective the word? Yeah, audience poll.
Truth or facts, or truth and facts.
Facts and truth often have little to do with each other.
Okay. I'm writing that down so I can put it in the poll later.
Yeah, right, because, you know, sis over here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ponder on that for a little bit. And
Let's
while
all
we're
ponder.
pondering, yeah, everybody take a few minutes to ponder, and we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with some more relatable content.
All right. All right, we are back, and, you know, we're just kicking it, y'all. We're shooting the shit. And so we don't have really a format this week. There's no real relatable content or meets. We're just here vibing.
We're just here. It's been a weird week. We schedule some of these in, and we have another barking dog. But it's just, I feel like we sometimes really, when I say we, I mean Christine needs a break from creating content. Because, you know, yeah.
Yes, just, you know, a week of like, all right, we're just going to come together, talk about whatever's on our minds. You know, we were having a conversation earlier about creatives. I think, I relayed the news to Shelby that our show Rap Shit has been canceled.
Oh my God, I'm devastated.
Yes.
I'm so sad.
It was very sad.
Good.
Sad news.
We love an Issa Rae production.
This is what it was. See, I was like, it'll trigger whatever it was I was going to say. One of the things I told you, you know, there's conversation about like it not being promoted and different reasons why it might have been canceled. But the other thing that came of all of the dialogue and just discourse about this show was that it's very clear that people do not know who Gen Z is. Because people, you know, there's the discussion of whether the show is for Gen Z. And I'm like, well, no, I don't think so. Like, but people think that the younger set of millennials are Gen Z. That seems to be like a thing that I'm seeing. Like, people are talking about people in their like late 20s and like mid to late 20s, and I'm like, no, those people are still millennials.
Yeah,
it's like
those people, very much so.
We just literally have like old millennials, we have like young millennials, but
well,
like,
and even Gen Z is now a pretty wide range as well. Like,
yeah,
it just, I don't know. I think I understand that there are generational divides between people, and it's worth looking at. But like at the same time, it's don't just lump all these people into one. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I struggle with that. But yeah, it's like they're not catching. They're not catching Gen Z, maybe.
Yeah, like the thought was that they were trying to capture Gen Z. But that, you know, I mean, the people that were sharing that they enjoyed the show tended to be towards the upper end of the millennial range and into Gen X, which, you know, often forgotten about. Yeah. So people kind of in their mid 40s, you know, to like mid to mid 50s-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Gen X is like a short one. It's a shorter set.
Yeah, I think of the 80s, late 70s, 80s, early 80s especially. Interesting. I'm sure I know that there probably is a very specific delineation of years, but I don't
Yeah, I
know.
was like, I think every time we talk about this, we have to look it up because it's like,
Yeah.
it's like like millennials are like a wider range than people tend to think.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yes.
like, because I'm like, the way I think of Gen Z now is literally of like my high school students. Like, some of the Gen Z is like
Mm.
maybe early 20s, but like
Yeah.
early 20s at the most.
Yes, at the oldest. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they're older than like 26. Like their brains are just now done cooking.
Yeah, and I think maybe not even. I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I don't. Well, maybe right in there. Yeah, it's right in that space.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, people. I don't know who they're thinking Gen Z is.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yes. It's right now Gen Z born between 1997 and 2012, so 11 to 16 today. Or sorry, 11 to 26. I don't know why I said 16.
okay, I was like 16, 11 to 16. That's a real
11
short.
to 26.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah, that would
okay.
be
All
your high
right.
school students, late or rather middle school even
Mid.
still.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And then Gen Alpha is the next
The
upcoming
younger set.
generation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, yeah, it's
Interesting.
like I don't think that the show is aimed at that age set at all.
It
Um,
doesn't feel that way. No, because it's like anybody who also we were discussing that show is based on the City Girls, which apparently a lot of people did
yes,
not know.
right. That was another surprising thing that people were like. It seems like that's what they're trying to do, and it's like that's exactly what's happening. That the show is
Yeah.
about the City Girls.
And okay, so the City Girls got kind of popularized what 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
Somewhere in there,
ish.
you
Yeah.
my rap girl, like.
Right. So I would say, I mean, I'd have to look at some years to see like when their first mixtape. I think I became aware of them like 4 to 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would put like at the oldest. Gen Z would have been 21 when the City Girls came out. I feel like, but it was mostly like people who were already in clubs at that point. So that
Yeah.
is very much it's aimed towards millennials to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and that's, yeah. I mean, I think that's who Issa Rae tends to create for in general. I think people
Mm-hmm.
are just, I don't know. I think, and this is where we got to the other part of the discussion of like, I think people can't let go of Insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
like, it was so meaningful to so many people. And again, I love Insecure. I go back and I, have me a
Mm-hmm.
binge. I'm like, I might be feeling one coming on right now.
It's such a good
just,
show. It's
it's
classic.
great.
We love
I
Issa
feel
Rae.
very
Yes.
connected to the show. It's wonderful. But like, everything can't be that. Like, you have
Yes.
to let those things live and let people make different things and like
Yeah. Have
everything won't be it. Yeah,
a
Insecure.
range.
Come on, have some range.
And just for the record, I just looked it up just to see, but Issa Rae is now 39 years old, so she was born in
Yes.
1985, which I think would still make her like a millennial at this
Yep,
point.
that's me.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Same.
We'll be 39 here shortly. Ah, just a
Okay.
little bit further to the big 40.
Hey, it's better than the alternative.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I
well,
always say,
yes.
you
No,
know?
I'm not. No, I'm not gonna say well. No, very true.
Well,
Very true.
yes. Some days, I
Like,
don't know.
like what else is out there? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Is it better?
Is it? It is.
Like,
It
well,
is.
that's what we're telling ourselves. Um, we have not completed the mission, so that is where we are. We have
That's
not
right.
completed the mission, so
That's right.
we will remain here until the mission is complete, which apparently is long into the future, if my astrology is astrologian.
If
Okay.
it's astrologian, we shall see. But yeah, all that to say, I'm really sad that Rapture is canceled.
Yeah.
Ooh, HBO. Hate that.
Yeah. I'm like, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, I guess we were of the the few that understood the concept from the beginning.
I guess so.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
because we listened to the read, and Kid Fury was working, or it did work on the show, and so I don't know. We just already knew what it was.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, we had some insider information, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's part of the issue in general, was that it wasn't marketed well, and then people
Right.
didn't know maybe even what the show was supposed to be about. Like,
yeah.
this seems like it's about the City Girls. You're exactly right. They're credited in the writing though. They're in the credits.
Yeah. Are they executive producers?
I think so. It's something. I didn't want to call it because I couldn't remember what exactly they were credited, but yeah, like they're credited. Yeah. I'm like, this is odd that people. Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's exactly who it's about.
Yeah. Well, now that we know that was so sadly canceled, what else have you been watching this week? Did you watch Saltburn?
I did not yet, and I was like, man, okay, this weekend I think I might be able to get to watch it. We're gonna see.
Okay.
I did watch the trailer for it though. I did go on Amazon Prime and I watched the trailer, and I will say that I very much got Cruel Intentions vibes. I was like, I was right on it.
Yes, you were. I think you were. And again, I have not seen Cruel Intentions, but just based on the aesthetics that I was seeing about it, yeah, I think you were spot on with that.
It was just like a vibe, and you were describing, and I was like, it's giving Cruel Intentions. It's just giving, like...
When she knows, she knows, okay? She's, yeah.
It's like, give me a reference my old millennial ass can understand. Like,
There you go. Yeah. Well, okay. So it was incredibly good. I'm very curious. My parents were talking about it this weekend because they watched Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
This past weekend, and the actor Jacob Elordi, who is in it, was hosting Saturday Night Live, and they were like, "Yeah, I think we should watch it." And I was like, have fun with that. I will not be watching it with you. Like, it's that kind of movie.
Yeah. It's like uncomfortable.
Oh, no, I cannot sit in the room with my parents while I watch this.
Yeah. No, thank you. That's, yeah. Yeah, it's coming from the child who, like, I don't know. Was it like a normal thing when you were growing up to, like, when there were, like, sex scenes on TV or whatever, like, things are getting steamy scenes? And I was just like, I'm going to go get a snack from I'm just going to get up. I don't know. Was that like, no? Did anyone else feel uncomfortable? I was just like, let me get up. I got to go.
It was very uncomfortable, but I think sometimes we would all just, like, and maybe this says more about me as a person, I think I would just, like, sit there and, like, sit really still and just act like it wasn't happening. Like, everyone would just, like, not make eye contact and stare forward and just, like, don't make any sudden movements.
That is also a thing that happened.
Yeah, I feel like that was more of my reaction. At least that I remember. And honestly, I don't remember that often. Usually what would happen when we would go to I'm gonna age myself, go to the Blockbuster, we had like a local rental place that we would get places from. Get videos from. Shout out to SRO. That was such a wonderful place.
Yes.
Very big part of my childhood. They would rent their own movie, and then I would rent a movie, and then be like, all right, go in your room and watch your movie. And I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah. Only child, having a movie night by myself. We are watching Napoleon for the third time, or we're watching, what else was I obsessed with? The Little Princess. I was obsessed with The Little Princess.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. They'd be like, here's your movie. Here's our movie. Every once in a while, I'd walk in to get a snack, and I'd catch like a weird scene. I remember one time they watched, sorry, I'm just on a full rant now, but I guess that's cool, because
that's what we're doing here.
That's what we're here for. I remember walking in when what was the movie? What's the movie? Oh, Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh.
Have you seen Eyes Wide Shut?
You know, I don't think I've seen it, but I remember the previews and all the talk about it, and so I know it's like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
one of those sexy kind of weird.
Exactly. And I remember like walking into the room, and there was like, it was actually not a sex scene, but like a really violent scene, and I just remember being like, oh, I'm not supposed to see this. Like, I'm just here for I'm just getting popcorn and going back to my room. Like,
there were always those movies that were like, you know, that you weren't supposed to see, but and then you're like trying to like, and your parents are watching, you're like, oh, what? You're trying to see little parts, like, oh, and you know, you report back to school,
right,
on Monday.
See,
I saw this.
I feel like my parents were pretty like they weren't super strict. Like if it was a movie worth watching, they would let me watch. Like I was watching PG-13 movies for sure, like pretty early on.
Yeah. With
them. And they didn't really give too many fucks about that, which I appreciated. But then occasionally there would be some shit where they'd be like, we're gonna watch this one without you. Like I don't think this is for you, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
That also, okay, sorry, this is really random. And part of the reason that I was reminded of my my experience watching Eyes Wide Shut is because I just listened to an audiobook that referenced it briefly. Are you familiar with Esther Perel?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think therapy world.
You know. Mm-hmm.
I bought the audiobook version of her book forever ago, Mating in Captivity.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, I read it, or I listened to it rather, and first of all, she narrates it, and she's just got this like beautiful accent, if you don't know, like,
yes,
she's just so all over the place. But she referenced a scene in that movie in the book. But now we're in book recommendation corner. It was so good. I feel like I should have listened to it while I was still married. I don't know that it would have changed the outcome of anything for me, but I definitely should have listened to it a long time ago. But it's just like good information to have. It's just like kind of a case study and like her take on like, you know, long-term partnerships and sex and just I love the way that she talks about intimacy and like, you know, I don't know, it's just all, it's very like, I think sorry, now I'm on a full tangent, but if you're interested in it at all, even if you're not in a long-term relationship, I think it's really interesting because she just like destigmatizes a lot of like kink and, you know, things like that, like and then she talks a lot about like bringing in the allure of the third and like whether or not that's sustainable in a relationship. And it was just a really good book, so that's my little book recommendation.
Come on, book recs. Yes,
I've been trying to read more.
I hear you. I'm like, yeah,
and mostly it's audiobooks, but anything's better than nothing.
Right. Like, I'm like, yeah, we got to get back on the audiobooks. I have things that are like in the library. I just forget sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I should go back and listen to that. Because I have like, yeah, a library of audiobooks even that just haven't gotten around to yet. So yeah.
Yeah. I think this was one I actually had gotten a long time ago and just like, I still have this. I should listen to this.
Yes. Like, I need to revisit. There's one book that I had listened to, but I really want to revisit it again anyway. I just feel like maybe that'd be a good, like, yeah, let it wash back over you again.
Yeah. There's a few that I, like, come back to periodically just to check in, like, good kind of self-help specifically kind of books. I've also been really into smut lately. Not like full smut, but like I've just a bunch of people were reading Iron Flame and Fourth Wing. Do you know about Fourth Wing?
I don't.
It sounds like so nerdy when you talk about it, because this is not my usual genre. No offense to anybody whose usual genre this is, but it's really good, I thought. It's fun. It's fantasy. It's sort of almost like Hunger Games style.
Uh-huh.
Like, we're in this kind of magical world building, whatever. There's dragons, there's blah blah blah, but then also there's smut, and I'm like, oh, okay. If there's some sex, I can handle it. Like, I can get down with the nerd.
Yes.
Nerd shit.
Okay, now are we talking like erotica, or are you talking like it's something separate?
No. I'm talking about like there is a whole book. It's a book. It's like a, yes, but also there's graphic sex scenes. Like, yeah.
Okay. I just was like,
yes.
I didn't know if it was like a different genre than like erotica, like in literature.
Okay, when you say erotica, what do you mean?
I feel like erotica, I mean, it's like some graphic sex.
Okay.
It's like graphic, like, or novels that really feature like sex.
Yes. Okay,
yeah.
I don't know why I just started referring to it as smut, because that's what a lot of people call it, I think. But erotica sounds so much sexier. I'm just like, I'm just listening to
that's
smut.
its literary term,
Okay. Okay, cool. That's like that, and that's new for me. That's not really something I know you have dabbled in it.
Yes.
Before.
Yes. I used to do some writing myself.
Yes.
It's a good time.
I don't know. It's new for me, and I'm into it. I'm just like, oh, this is why everybody's so good at reading. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Because listen, like, so I think I told you a little bit about this, but when I was in college, I had a friend that my parents had hooked me up with. Funny enough. And she would kind of take me around and just kind of show me Memphis or whatever. We do little stuff together, go to the mall, whatever. So we went to this mall, and we went to this bookstore, and she's like, oh, I have to show you like the books that I really like. And so she started showing me these Zane books. And Zane is an author that writes erotica.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've never read any, but I am familiar.
Yeah. So she had a show on one of the cable channels some years back, the Sex Chronicles, which is based off of a book series that she has. All of these things I read back, like, in college, like, when I got a hold of that, and I was already a reader. That's the thing. Like, I already loved reading. Yeah. And I got a hold of those books, and I was like, what? Like, again, my Aries, Venus, and Mercury were like, oh my goodness.
Yes. Just clutching her
I was
pearls
like,
here.
This is my genre right here. We are just, the things that were being written about. So I was like, now where do we find these kind of parties? Like, where are these things happening? Like, I'm trying to be involved.
So what I'm reading right now is probably, and the reason I was hesitant to call it erotica is because, like, the sex scenes are kind of few and far between. Like, there's a lot of build up, obviously, but like when I've never read Zane books, but I imagine that it's just like pretty hardcore shit. Like,
no. I mean, there's a storyline. I won't say that. Yeah, I mean, there's a story, and all of that. But like when they, the sex scenes are satisfying.
They're
sexy. Like it's you're like, ooh, okay. Sometimes you have to take a little break. Like, let me just. All right, like I'm feeling a little heated.
I'm listening to this in public, and now I've got to stop.
Gotta stop. I'm needing a little break.
Yes.
But yeah. I mean, just it was a time. It was a time in my life. I mean, it was like a thing. I would have to hide my books from my mom, because one time she found me reading something. It wasn't even like Zane. It wasn't. It was literally like, I feel like it was like Eric Jerome Dickey, and like sometimes he had like some scenes in his books, but it wasn't like heavy like Zane. And so she was like, you're reading this trash or whatever. Like, she would always, again,
a book is a book.
Child, no. Well, my mom truly enjoys Jane Austen, and so there's a certain which I do too, but I also enjoy same,
Why
come
can't
on.
we can have both?
Duality, okay?
Multitudes, okay?
We can be chaste and be throwing it out, throwing it in a circle, whatever. Um, whatever's happening.
Now, I will say, I don't know if I've talked to you. I'm sure that I brought this up before, and maybe even when we've talked about this, but do you remember at the place where we worked and the job that I did and the agency that we had to work with who was frequently there to like watch? There was a caseworker who had been there forever. She was old. And first of all, she always got my name wrong. She always called me Stacy, which I think is hilarious. But we just were like, you know what? You've had like 3 heart attacks. I don't know how you're still working here, but you're here. But
some people get a pass, and it's just, hey.
You know what? Go ahead. You can call me Stacy.
Yeah.
Anyway, she would come into the room with a romance novel from time to time. And I was just like, here? This place? Where we work with children? Is where you're gonna read your romance novel? Like, can you not?
Have to keep hope alive.
They're like the kind that you see at the grocery store with like the sexy men covers.
Like Danielle Steele. Like,
yes, exactly. You've got like Fabio on the cover.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Okay. So
my
anyway,
parents
I just always think about her.
Listen, no, my parents definitely told me that I was named. My middle name is Danielle. That I was named after Danielle Steele. Like, my mom. My mom was a Scorpio, enjoyed reading romance novels, and apparently enjoyed a little Danielle Steele.
Okay.
And, so
everybody's got it. Everybody's got their little guilty pleasure. And
I'm not sure what the truth is.
Pleasure.
But that's one of the stories. But yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone loves to get ravaged, he was ravaging her. Ooh.
Okay, all right. I'll take it.
Get a little hot under the collar,
Steamy. Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Get to a certain age and men ain't, doing these, they're not ravaging you anymore, they just, they just don't have the energy. We got to get that together.
That's my goal, is just to be ravaged forever.
Forever.
Can we make it happen? I don't know.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm like, I need to be getting ravaged now. I'm going to ravage someone. With their consent. So, okay, I have a little game for us.
Okay.
Before game, well, maybe not game. I had a little activity for us this episode. The one thing that
the one thing
said that we would do. So we are going to talk about a little, Pisces things. We don't get to talk about Pisces things as much anymore. So
we're covering the breadth of astrology and astrology adjacent.
Okay.
We are such a Pisces. So let's come back to the roots.
Let's come back to our roots. So we're gonna talk about some celebrities we love today, and we're gonna get into their charts. We're gonna talk about how they're like us. So we're calling this celebrities. They're just like us.
They're just like us. They have birth charts too.
They have birth charts too, and we're gonna talk about how we're alike and different, and who the people are. I sent this to Shelby, and I was like, we talked about this. Like, we know that we're gonna have an overlap person.
At least one.
At least one. So I was like, it's fine. So we'll kind of freestyle, and we'll figure out how we want to do that overlap person. But I think we'll both have something interesting to share when it comes to that person. So I don't know. Do you want to start out, or do you want me to start out?
Sure. I don't mind to start.
Okay.
Let's see. So first, I'll throw out this one, and we have actually done this person's chart on the podcast before. I think it was in an earlier season. But one of my personal favorite Pisces is Tyler, the Creator.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes. He just, I don't know. I listen to him. And we're not too far off. We're around the same age. I think about a year older. But back when like Odd Future was like a big thing, and he was doing that kind of whole collective with like Frank Ocean and Earl Sweatshirt and like all those people.
Uh-huh.
And I really, really liked that style of rap. It was very rebellious. It was very interesting. But talk about someone who has changed their style over the course of like, you know, he's really matured a whole lot. And then we got Flower Boy, which was like very ahead of its time. Musically, it was much more mellow. And yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoy his artistry and how it's like grown and all that sort of thing. So
yes,
I'm going to cover his birth chart.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So because we've talked about him on the podcast before, so I'll just kind of give you the big six, and then talk about whatever I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So of course he's a Pisces. He's also a Pisces Mercury, which
okay,
is interesting. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on Pisces Mercury? I feel like that communication is.
Yeah, well, I've got some people on mine, I think, as well that have a Pisces Mercury. I think it, you know, it lends to like, you know, like that same kind of almost softness in your communication. Sometimes a little passivity, but also the way things that you're communicating about tend to be kind of Piscean themes. So like, you know, empathy and compassion, and I think, you know, those. It tends to be like that lens in your communication and your thought. Yes. So yeah, like I think that's kind of the vibe I get from that Pisces Mercury.
Okay, yes. Let's see. What is his? I forgot to. His rising sign is in here somewhere because we do have what I think is a pretty accurate birth chart. Oh, okay. That's right. The ascendant is Leo, which, you know. I feel like I was looking for similarities to my own chart in a lot of these celebrities, and there was surprisingly, other than the sun sign, like very few pieces of overlap. And I think it's like there's something to like being a celebrity. Like, I know I'm not cut out for that life. Like there's something in like being a celebrity. It's just like, this is my birth chart does not indicate that I like want to be in the spotlight in this way. And there's things that point to that here. So, for example, you know, the Leo rising gives a lot.
Yeah, that definitely gives, you know, someone who's going to be in front.
Yes. But then also kind of juxtaposed to that is the Scorpio moon, which I think is also very interesting.
A little dark and stormy.
A little dark and stormy in there, yeah. Also with the Aries Venus, so again, that is very similar to your chart, not mine, but you know, like, okay, it's sexy over there.
Yeah.
And then we also have a Gemini Mars, which to me gives a little bit of a fuckboy vibe.
Oh yeah, remember we talked about Gemini Mars, and was it the red flags or the cheaters? One of the two, maybe both.
One of those, yeah. It's a red flag for sure.
That Gemini Mars is. It's not one you want to see.
Yeah. I also went through and looked at, like, you know, the houses and that kind of thing. His sun is in the 8th house. Moon is in the 4th house. Yeah, I just, again, not a whole lot of overlap with mine. A lot of very different, interesting things. Now, so I also was looking at some of the aspects, and again, not really a ton of overlap with mine. But the aspects are something that is still like hard for me to grasp a little bit. So I'm like, a square is generally good, right?
A square is a challenging aspect.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind then. All right. I don't know.
Some people like squares. They like that kind of, it's kind of friction energy. Like, you know, if you enjoy that, some people don't enjoy that kind of friction. But yeah, so yeah.
Okay. So just off the top here, I know he has his sun is conjunct Mercury.
Okay.
And a conjunction is
amplified. So conjunction's the strongest aspect, and so it's amplified because they're in the same place technically.
Oh, okay.
With, you know, varying degrees, but they're in the same place.
Okay, so that's the Pisces Mercury and Sun.
Okay.
Same place, right? Okay. What else? We also have, we have a Sun square Mars.
Okay. So his Mars is either in what, Sag or Gemini. Yeah, you
Gemini.
said Gemini. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what else would be interesting. I think this is also like, this is helpful because this is an astrology lesson again for me, because I'm always just like, which one is which? There's a couple of oppositions, but they're like way down here. Oh, Mars is opposing Lilith.
Okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. So you know, so the way you look at it in order is kind of like conjunctions, oppositions, I think then squares, trines, sextiles. Then you get into like the kind of lower aspects, or the kind of more minor aspects.
Gotcha.
So oppositions that's a strong aspect. But you know that, of course, it's that intensity, that magnetic, like push pull, kind of all of that.
Yeah.
So that what was in opposition?
Jupiter. Oh wait, no, that's not. I said Mars is opposing Lilith.
Oh yeah, that is interesting because okay. Some of the things I've been reading recently about Lilith, kind of generalizing that energy, is like it's like the female version of Pluto. And I was like, okay, I like that kind of concept. That's easier to conceptualize.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so if you have a Mars opposing that kind of energy that's within yourself or with anyone else, like that's some pretty intense energy existing, especially that male female, like strong, intense, sexual power, like all of those themes come up. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me as well, because I know again, I don't know a ton about his personal life, but I know there's been some like his kind of earlier stuff got very criticized for being like a little bit homophobic in a lot of ways, and now he's come out as bisexual, and so it's like you can kind of see that
interesting.
Internal
okay, that's interesting. Yeah,
in the music. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I see.
That's just one little thing. Let's see what else. There's also his Jupiter is in opposition to his North Node.
Okay. Oh.
What does that give you?
So, I mean, well, okay, here's the thing. So Jupiter aspects, I feel like Jupiter and Venus kind of are similar. Like they're more rare to have bad, if you will. I'm doing air quotes, aspects, because of course no aspects are bad, but of course there are some that are more challenging.
Yeah.
Venus is known to, even when Venus is in a square, whatnot, to still not be like too bad. It's like, it's like, yeah, it's not. It's kind of more weak. So Jupiter,
because Jupiter is like sort of, I don't know. I think about it as like party energy. I know that's not exactly
expansion
right. Excess.
And excess, expansion, abundance, but it's also like the knowledge and learning and gaining of wisdom, and so all of that energy, that growth, and so you have growth in opposition of your destiny, your point, so that's an interesting, it just sounds, I'd have to kind of like do a little search and see what I could read up on just that particular aspect. But that's an interesting aspect to me. But of course, again, that opposition goes both ways. So there are like positives to it.
Okay, so that is an interesting, because now I'm looking. So there's Jupiter is in opposition to the North Node, but Jupiter is also in opposition to Saturn. Which Saturn is, a little more challenging.
Yeah, sad. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So
Yeah.
some interesting lessons probably in there.
Yeah.
Life lessons that he's had to learn. Hmm.
Celebrities, they're just like us. They also have to learn
Mm-hmm.
lessons.
Everybody's got something to learn.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's Tyler, so I won't spend too much more time on him. But I'm curious. Do you want to give us your first one?
Okay. My first one. None of these should be a surprise to anyone, probably. But I probably talked about all of these people at some point. So there are some interesting things that came out of this, though. But okay, we'll get there. The celebrity that's probably the most ish. I don't know. The first two are most ish like me. The first is Janae Aiko.
Oh yes, we have talked about this just a little
You
bit.
know,
On the pod
I
before.
love Janae.
Yes, we
I
love
feel
her.
like we're the same person. I think when I did this, I felt more like we're the same person.
Fair.
No, we're not the same person, but like we have some very interesting and strong similarities. I do think if we ever met, we would be very fast friends.
You could be
Um,
friends.
because
Be
I think
friends.
just the things that are similar are very similar. Um, but no, I think I connected. It's interesting. I connected with her music more some years back. What my Aquarius friend put me on because she's the music person, so she
Yes.
knows all the things and all the people. And so we saw her live at the Essence Festival some years ago, and it was just like such a vibe. And I was like, wait, who is this girl? Like, okay, I love her. And so, and it was in one of the smaller rooms too. So it was just like closer, and they had the lights, and it was just like, okay, wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah,
This
it's very
feels
intimate.
like my kind of vibe. And so that just like that experience in itself made me just instantly like a Janae stan. And so since then we have been vibing out together. And so the more I learn about Janae, I'm just like, yep, just yeah, I'll be the same way. I'd say the same things, the music, all the stuff, everything. It's very me. um so also she's also a sound healer, and I'm like, again, Janae, let's get together. Let's, do some sound healing. Okay, let's talk about the astrology. So Janae has a sun in Pisces at 26 degrees, and a moon in Pisces at 16 degrees. So that's a similarity between the two of us. We are both Pisces sun and moon. My sun is at 29 degrees and my moon is at 20 degrees, which would make our suns and moons conjunct with each other. So one of the things I did with this, which was kind of fun, when I went and got their birth chart information, I actually plugged it in to my astro.com, and then I did a synastry chart between us.
I should have done that.
I
should've
almost
done that.
texted you to do that. I was like, I wonder. Well, we'll see what you. I was just like, I'm not going to give you too much instruction. I want you to just do what you want to do with it. But yeah, like I was just like, let's see what this pulls up. So that's one of the the strong things about our charts. Like the suns and moons are conjunct. And they're some close conjunctions. So very, very interesting. So she also has a Mercury and North Node in Pisces. And so she's got a Pisces stellium. So I'm like, oh, I very much feel that. Like, it's just very, gentle kind of like, but she can get kind of, spicy too. Like she has her little spicy moments, but other than that,
moments here and there.
she's just like vibing. You're having a time over there.
I know. I'm sorry.
I know.
Dogs are barking like crazy. I'm gonna try and edit as much of it out as possible.
No, it's all good. Life happens. So I was like, okay, this was also the Mercury in Pisces. So I'm like, okay, her and Tyler have this in common. Also, okay, this is another thing I pulled out. Her north node conjuncts my moon. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. So I'm remembering looking at this chart now. So her sun and moon are at 26 degrees and 16 degrees, and then her north node actually sits in between, I think at 23 degrees. And so her north node conjuncts my moon, which I was, reading about. And it says, it's a very beautiful aspect in synastry. It's very like soothing to the soul, and like there's like a strong emotional bond and supportive. And there's a sense that the relationship has like a higher purpose. And I'm like, oh, see, we out here doing sound healing together, healing the masses. Yes.
Yes. Okay, you really could be friends with her.
I'm like, we really could be friends though. Her Venus is in Taurus. I was like, very cute, very, at home placement. Yes. She has a Sagittarius ascendant. Somebody else here also, I think has a Sag ascendant on my list. I'm like, okay. I think all of my people have a fire ascendant on this list, which was an interesting, correlation. But right, okay, like all these fire energies. I said feels very compatible. Oh, this feels very compatible with her man, who is an Aries sun. And then I said, side note, his chart is also interesting. They share the Mercury and North Node placement in Pisces. And he also has a Cancer moon. I was like, big softy. Like, big shine, big softy.
That's really
right.
sweet, actually. That's a really nice compliment to an Aries.
Right. I was like, okay, look at you, shine. Okay, I see you. Okay. She also has a Cap stellium. So a lot of her like outer planets and stuff like that are in Capricorn, and maybe some of the middle. So she's got a Pisces stellium, she's got a Capricorn stellium, so she's making money with her softness and her sweetness.
I love that for her.
We love it. Let's see. She also has a Mars conjunct Jupiter, which I said, wait, was this? No, I would have put that note in there. Okay. It says, creates dynamic and lively energy between people, excitement, passion, and zest for life. I'm trying to remember if I put that in there as that was an aspect that was in our synastry, or if that was her aspect, but I don't remember now. So just an interesting note there. And then I think I said, if we ever met, I think we'd be fast friends. We'd be out here healing the collective together while vibing out, smoking a J later, just riding around. I don't know.
I think that, I like that. I like that for you. I hope it happens one day.
I know, right? I'm like, Janae, hey girl. Just good friends. Okay, that's my first person. Who you want to go to next?
Well, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then come back for our final pair, and then the one that we share.
Yes.
Welcome back, y'all. Now we have a very squirmy dog.
We have a very special guest.
Kima, you want to say anything? No.
Oh.
She's like, get me out of here.
She's like, talking about in captivity.
Right, I know. I'm sorry. Poor girl. Anyway, so are you ready for my next celebrity Pisces?
I'm ready.
This one I actually didn't really realize until I started kind of looking into it. But I don't know why. I just kind of vibe with her general vibe. Mm-hmm. So here it is. Drew Barrymore.
Oh, Drew Barrymore. Okay, I have a thing.
Oh, you Drew have a Barrymore. Thing? Do you want to tell me the thing?
Okay, it's not long.
Okay.
I just, I remember hearing something about Drew Barrymore having a talk show, and I've never seen it, but I saw a clip, and I can't even remember who her guest was on the show. But it just really it just tickled me because I was just like, this is exactly how I saw a talk show from Drew Barrymore, because like the person was sitting on the couch, and she's like sitting facing them cross-legged on the couch.
Yes.
And I was like, that's so Drew Barrymore. Like,
yeah. Okay, I picked her because, like, I don't know. I know I'm sure she has things, but there's like she has some things like that are very like that's something I would do. I would sit on the couch cross-legged and look at you.
Just like I'm here for you, friend. I'm supporting you. I'm right here with you. Like
I have a show, but I'm not like making a show about it. I'm just like looking at you.
Right. Like fuck this setup, like blocking and stage shit. Like I'm gonna sit right up on you, like and face you.
Yes. I do. I feel like that's relatable content.
It's very Piscean. I'm like, she is one of us. There's many people. I'm like, they're one of us. They're one of us.
They're one of us. So she has a lot of placements that I found interesting.
Ooh.
Particularly, she is a Cancer moon. I am a Cancer rising.
Oh, yes.
She is also a Gemini ascendant.
Okay.
And I'm a Gemini moon, so I'm just like,
okay, it's like a little switch. I like it. I like it.
But yeah, I think she's like, I don't know. I feel like I struggle with this balance of when I think of Geminis, I think of a lot of things, but like also just being very chatty, very social, whatever, and like that juxtaposed with Piscean, like sometimes the world is just too much. I just want to be inside. I don't want to like. Yeah.
Don't want to deal.
the balance of those two things, or like the way that I feel so strongly one way or the other most of the time, is also very Drew Barrymore-esque.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
She also has a Mercury in Aquarius. So as you know, I have like heavy Aquarius placements. My Venus and Mars. She also has a Venus in Pisces, which I think is interesting.
So that is someone else has that too, or something I was looking at recently. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. If we remember from our dignities, so that is a very nice placement, going along with some very nice other placements for her, like just nice charts.
Yeah. Sometimes you just look at a chart. Like, there's no bad charts, but sometimes you look at a chart and you're like, wow.
You have some really harmonious kind of placements that are just, that's really nice for you. I love that for you.
Okay, here's another one. She also has Mars in Capricorn.
Oh, okay. But getting to the money. I see it. Like,
right.
Or about your business, you know.
She ended up
she works.
Where she did. Yeah.
Okay. She works.
Exactly. Let's see. What else do we have here? So, Sun is in the 10th house.
Okay.
Again. Let's see. There's really... The moon is in opposition to Mars.
Okay.
But that is, I think, the only... Oh, and then Neptune is opposing her ascendant. But those are the only oppositions in her chart.
Okay.
Sun is square the North Node. But yeah, anyway, I'm just kind of looking over her chart. But really, I just picked her because I'm like, I don't know, she seems cool. She's like had a very troubled childhood, being a child actor.
Yeah.
She's definitely been through some trauma, but also she's very like, again, she's got a talk show now. She like, seems like she's in a good place. She's not usually causing problems.
Yeah, unproblematic. We used to love a Drew Barrymore film, like just all of them. Just very Never Been Kissed, just very my childhood, my preteen-hood and teenage. And I was just like, Drew Barrymore, she just gets me. Drew Barrymore and like Mandy Moore. I was just like, that was very me, like.
Yes.
Like just in my feelings. But anyways, that's some nice placements, nice harmonious things happening there. Okay, Drew, I'm here for it.
Yes.
Okay.
We love to see it. All right, give me your next one.
Okay. So my next one is Badu.
Ah, yes. Of course, of course. I knew that I could. The next one I picked, I was like, all right, it's cool if we have one overlap. I was like, I cannot do this one because Christine will.
But again, you would have connected to different things. So
of
it
course.
just, it would have been
Yeah.
fine. Now, the interesting thing that came up was in this chart when I did the synastry. There was things came up. So we'll get to it in a second. So Erica Badu is also a Pisces sun and moon, which I think I often forget.
Yes.
And, she has some other placements that don't lend as much. Well, again, and Janae has a Pisces stellium, so it's slightly different. She's a little more heavy on that softer energy than Badu, but it makes sense once you get into it. So, okay. She has a Sag rising and an Aquarius Mercury. There it is. I was like, somebody else had that Aquarius Mercury. So in my first, when I was thinking about this, I was like, I just feel like if I had a conversation with her, I would just be soaking up all of her knowledge like a sponge. She'd be like my guide or something.
Yes.
And I just always took with me, the quotes, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. And I'm like, that just, hello.
I'm sensitive
about my shit now,
Pisces sun and moon
come on.
real hard.
Come on. I was like, see, that's why I vibe with it so hard forever. That's right there. So those were my initial things. So, okay, when I got into her astrology, so her sun is at 7 degrees Pisces. Her moon is at 19 degrees. So again, our moons would be conjunct or are conjunct with each other. So not only, I saw this and was very excited for her, not only does she have a Jupiter domicile, which means it's in Sagittarius, but it is also conjunct her ascendant.
Okay.
And so that is very auspicious, a Jupiter conjunct your ascendant, and it's in Sagittarius, that's just a very good luck energy. Just, you've got a lot of
just lucky luck girl.
Yeah, just a lot of cool things happening. If you can sell an incense that smells like your pussy,
oh my god.
And it's sellouts, okay?
Never related more anymore.
Hello. Yeah. So also, okay, she has a Venus in Capricorn, and her Mars is also in Sag. So the Mars and the ascendant are in the same sign. So my moon, I'll get into a little synastry. My moon is square her Mars. So when you're looking into this, it's this could be sexual. And I was like, ooh, all right now. All right. It's intense sexual tension and potential for emotional conflict. Could be a little combative energy. I was like, oh, okay. It's intense and it's sexual and it's combative. I don't know.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, again, very toxic. So that was the first red flag with me and Erica, okay?
Y'all would not vibe, unfortunately.
So, unfortunately, as much as our moons were conjunct and we're emotionally vibing, and we're very, there's other energy that very, much draws us in. Moon square Mars.
Ooh.
So which is, I think you just brought up that aspect too in someone else's chart, but it's within their own. Yeah. And so that kind of creates that tension again between how you feel and what you're doing.
Yes.
And so, when synastry, it's a watch out. So now, here's the second red flag. My sun is opposite her Pluto. And when I say opposite, I do get into it later in this little paragraph that I wrote. So of course we know my sun is Pisces. I'm a Pisces at 29 degrees. Her Pluto is at 28 degrees of Virgo.
Oh.
So, of course, that is opposition and is very strong opposition as a 1 degree orb. Now the last time, so there's two things, we'll get to the Pluto part, but so the last time, I had a person who had a 28-degree Virgo was, my Virgo friends,
Oh, yes.
and
Okay.
that energy is very intense in and of itself, right? Just that
Yeah.
polarity. So let's talk about the sun being opposite Pluto. So we know that Pluto interactions can be very intense. And so there's also, part of the thing with Pluto, there's also a strong attraction and magnetism to that.
Right.
So there's a draw for us to come together, or be very curious about each other. But there's the other side. So many believe the Pluto person has the upper hand between the two of them.
Okay.
It does depend on the sign, but this is a Pluto Virgo versus Sun Pisces, so probably still yes, like.
Yes, definitely.
And so I said this might actually be a tough aspect for me to take. I was like, I don't know, Erica, I don't know, sis. It's a transformative relationship, but could be very love hate. And these relationships tend to end in destruction. So should the relationship end, there's usually no like return to friendship. There's no like, there's nothing. It's done.
Okay.
So if you're able to transform together, it'll be a struggle along the way. So very, I said very tricky placement after my last Pluto interaction. I would leave this alone.
Yeah.
So
Maybe not for you.
yeah. So now here's the other thing that I took from that. Now I don't know. I didn't do the synastry of all these other men, but Erica has been known to be this like very Plutonian almost person in these rappers and probably other people's lives. Like they always come out very changed. They're doing different music. Like, so I kind of wonder if other people's now, it makes me want to dig a little further, and see like what their synastry is. And like, I wonder if her Pluto has had some kind of aspect or something, to these, men's charts that she's, changed their lives.
That would make sense. That would make sense. Huh. That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you covered her. Again, I think we would have identified with different things, but
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I love to see it.
Yes. So that's my, deal with Erica. So I guess we should not meet.
Apparently not.
Because I might be destroyed in the process.
We can't have that now. We can't have that.
I'd be rebirthed, but oh goodness. I'm like, I can't do another Pluto.
To do the work.
That I was like, oh no. I was like, no, Erica, no, we're not gonna be able to
Well,
meet.
at least you and Janae would vibe.
Me and Janae.
You can't have everybody.
Yeah, hey, you can't win them all.
Speaking of winning them all, do we want to, go ahead and compare notes for the Pisces?
Let's do
queen
it.
herself?
Yes.
All right. So of course, personal fave. We both picked Rihanna.
Yes. Riri.
Yes. So this is. I'm sure we've looked at her chart before, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's so many things, and I'm like, oh wow, and especially looking at all three of these like Pisces women specifically and ourselves, but like just to see how they all vary is fascinating to me.
It's very cool, right? I think it's interesting.
Plays out in their personalities, especially. So I'm looking at all of Rihanna's Aries placements. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. She's like she just like
you gotta,
sex.
yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes. I mean, that was definitely one of the things I pulled out with Rihanna, of course, is like, I really relate hard to that, I would say, and this is, well, it's somewhere in here. Okay. Yeah. So Rihanna's sun is at 1 degree of Pisces. So that is significant too, because I feel like she pulls a lot of, probably still pulls a lot of Aquarian energy. Like, of course, she pulls a lot
Yes.
of Aries energy, and we see that. But you almost don't see as much Pisces. Like, it's in there, but it's like she also kind of is at that edge of, there's probably still
Right.
some Aquarian kind of vibes with the what she does, very forward, very future thinking. Like, think about her fashion shows and things like that. Like, just very avant-garde, or very just different. Like, you just went kind
Yes.
of left, and I loved it. Like, like, yeah, like, so
Yeah.
that 1 degree of Pisces is like, we're just tipping into that, Piscean energy. Still got a lot more Aquarius energy, and again, a whole lot of Aries going
Yes.
on.
A whole lot of Aries. And I think I think I'm just, yeah, I identify with a little bit of the Aquarian energy, just having
Mm-hmm.
those placements. Of course, the Aries. Does she have an Aries, Venus, and Mercury, or there's something
She
else that she
has
has?
an Aries moon, Venus, and um ascendant.
Oh yes, sorry, I don't know why
Mm-hmm.
you just said her Aquarius, or her Mercury was in Aquarius. That edible is hitting now.
It's okay. It's okay. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that, I mean, she gets that like very strong, you know, aggressive sexual energy. And I'm like, and I be feeling that so hard. I'm like, see, I feel, yes, girl. Okay, I relate so hard. Like, I feel like I'm okay when I see Rihanna. I'm like, see, it's all right. Um,
I love it. I love it. I identify with it very heavily,
but
especially in this particular stage of life.
mm-hmm. Okay. Now, one of the things I did say that I was curious about was that she has because she's got the Aries Venus and the Aries Moon. And I just wonder about, like, relationship wise, and like when, love wise, like how those things work together. Because almost that moon, you think about Aries. Aries is really excitable and excited to start things. Not really great at
Right.
consistency and finishing them. And then that's kind of how you're emotionally connecting. And then, of course, then you also have your Venus is in that same kind of energy. So,
Right.
does it speak to like short lived relationships, or like it's like, hey, I'm cool. Like, this was fun for a while, and now it's, I don't
That's
know.
it's so interesting because like you've seen her in the media with a lot of different people and having a lot of different relationships,
Mm-hmm.
but also now she seems pretty settled. So like I also that's all of a sudden I want to look at ASAP Rocky's chart so bad.
Okay.
Like what is
I'm
what
telling you,
is
we might have to do a follow
complementing?
up.
Yeah. Okay, that's a note
Yes.
for a later episode.
Yes. Like celebrity partners.
Yes. Yes.
um,
He's a celebrity in his own right, I'd
yes.
say.
Right. Right. Well, yes. Yes. But, just in relation to
Right.
that. It's like,
Right.
we're not talking about him. He's just a man in relationship to
He's literally
Rihanna.
just a
He's
guy.
just a guy. We don't care. No, I'm just kidding. um, so, okay, what else did I see? Okay, I think I talked a little bit about Sinistry. Did you want to point out any other, did you want to, I didn't want to start talking about all of my
No,
points.
you're good. I think that was most of what I had anyway. Yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot.
Just, she's our Pisces Aries queen. Um, okay. One of the Sinistry things that I saw was that we didn't have as much we didn't have as many like conjunctions, oppositions, things like that. So there's more, I think with her I saw more squares in our chart, and then I saw more like trines and sextiles, that kind of thing. So I didn't get into all of those because that just takes too much time to go into.
Right.
But we did have my Mercury is conjunct her ascendant. And so some of what I was reading talked about like I would have influence over how she would see herself and her actions. And then the vice
Oh.
versa would be she would have influence over the way I would think and express myself. That's how that little energy would
Interesting.
work. We talked about her Aquarius Mercury. Um, her Mercury is conjunct my Jupiter. And then I said she would be able to connect me to opportunities for expansion and explore my areas of interest. And I'm like, sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's like,
of course.
yeah, I could
Why not?
definitely connect me to opportunities for expansion.
Yeah. Weird.
It's like, say less. And then she has a Sag Mars. So it's like, she just has a whole lot of very fiery sexual energy.
That's also, was that one of the red flags when we did, or the cheaters, or one of those
Probably.
episodes?
Probably. I mean,
The Sag
we know
Mars.
Sag Moon was one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just, like Sag Mars
Yeah.
is on the move. Like they're not,
Yeah.
they're not stopping for anybody. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's like, maybe not, unless she finds the right person
Unless, yeah,
into that,
exactly.
relationship thing. So maybe, yeah, we need to look at their charts. Maybe there's some North Node action going
Oh,
on.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Also, I said she has a Pisces North Node, um, which in the synastry was also conjunct my moon. And I said, I'm meant to be friends with these women, except for Badu. I'm not meant to be friends with
Not
Badu.
meant to be, but it could still be an intriguing meeting.
It would
to
be
say the
great
least.
to meet her and get away, because if we lock eyes too much, you're like, oh, like I don't know,
Yeah.
like I'd be sucked in and I'd be soaking all the knowledge and stuff, and then later I don't know, I don't know
We'll
how
see.
that.
I hope we get to know one day.
These
What
are
is
all
it?
of my fantasies now that I've run our synastry charts with these celebrities.
Yes. Everyone has their own little meet cute moment
Mhm.
in their minds. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this has been a fun little exercise, I think.
Yes. Okay, one thing I have to say.
Yes.
All of the celebrities that we brought to the table today,
Yes.
just dream blunt rotation.
Oh wow! And see, and all sit on the couch like Drew, and like just like have this little couch. We're all like staggered, and we're just like around hanging and like smoking, and like,
Oh my
it's such a
God.
vibe. Like, oh,
Yeah.
come on
Everybody
now.
in the group is such a vibe in their own particular way, including us.
We
I
get
would
this
like
room, and we'll get the Drew Barrymore like decor collection,
to
and like we all, all very creative and musicians, and like bring Janae. We'll do the sound bowls. We'll get to healing. We'll just do all the things. Girl, that'll be a time.
Man,
We
talk
would have a
about
time.
fantasy.
Okay,
There we go.
that is a fantasy. Let's make it happen. Come on.
Let's make it happen. I'm manifesting it.
Manifesting
it's gonna happen one day
it.
for us.
Okay.
They're all gonna hear this episode of the podcast and make it happen.
And we're gonna all come together. Let's put it into the
so
universe.
Can't wait.
It's on the way.
It's on the way. Okay, well, all that being said, I feel like we parlayed this little to shoot the shit moment into a cute little episode.
Yes. See, we always make something happen.
Something out of nothing.
Okay.
Let me tell ya.
So, okay. Now we did give you a poll this week. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Ooh, tell us.
so share your things. Okay. So we'll have the poll up with the episode, and I will, try my very best to remember to actually post it on Instagram during the week.
And I don't think is it too late to vote for last week's as well?
It's not too late, but I just haven't put it up there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know how the weekend engagement works, so I'm like, we'll float back and see. We might do 2 next week.
see.
We'll see how we do.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll double up. So we'll do that, and if you guys want to reach out, comments, questions, requests for readings, hit us up. Our email is suchapiscespod@gmail.com, and that is spelled SUCHAPISCESPOD@gmail.com.
And per usual, you can also find us at Such a Pisces Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Twitter, any place you have podcast stuff or social media, that's where we are at Such a Pisces Pod.
Yes, it's 8:18 right now. I love it. That is, that's my time. I've been seeing 8:18 a lot lately too, and so they're trying to communicate. All right, so
what a message for
as we go out. So I would say stay safe in these streets and definitely protect your energy.
And I gotta say it with honor and respect to wrap shit.
I know.
Week. Seduce and scheme safely.
Do it safely, y'all, because you might get canceled out here. I don't know what's
You might get canceled. After 2 seasons.
Damn.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.